Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Minnesota.
This Twins and Royals series is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Another warm summer night in downtown Minneapolis where a loyal legion of fans continue to make their way into Target Field to watch the Twins close out their series with Kansas City. Two teams that muscled 6 balls out of the park on Sunday. Well, we see the same here tonight. We welcome you to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. Twins and Royals tonight. Baseball's 2 hottest hitting teams during the month of August. And for Minnesota, it's Kenny Vargas, who has had the hottest bat, 15 RBI so far this month. Tim, you've been impressed with his maturity at the plate and his ability to make adjustments there as well.
Yeah, this is a really nice jump that this young man's made from Double-A all the way to the big leagues, bypassing Triple-A. And what has he done at the plate? Well, he's brought some offense, and he's been able to provide that offense by having a short, compact stroke. You don't need to be Jed Lowry or Josh Donaldson to know that that ball comes smoking off of his bat. He's got a pretty good idea of what he's going to do when he gets up there. There's been some teams, as Gardy has said, that have tried to put the shift on a little bit, but you know what? He shot the ball the other way quite nicely, as he did yesterday against the Kansas City Royals. And when it comes to a shift, you know what? There's no kind of a shift in baseball that can protect against that right there. That's a home run that goes into the seats. There's not a right fielder in the game that can play high enough to catch that baseball, Tom.
After 15 games in the big leagues, the 24-year-old has been a big hit for the Twins so far. Still to come, Trevor May making his Target Field debut tonight. Dick and Bert will offer some advice for the rookie right-hander as he heads to the Hill tonight.
is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Dodge. Hurry in and get a great deal during the Dodge Summer Clearance event.
Believe it or not, the Kansas City Royals are in control of their own destiny for the first time this late in the season since 2003. Kansas City is leading the American League Central by a game and a half, and the Twins, of course, hoping to catch the White Sox, maybe the Indians, before the season comes to a close. It's a hot, steamy night here at Target Field, but we welcome you to Twins baseball. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven with the Twins, hoping that Trevor May can break through whatever is interfering with his natural ability, get the ball over the plate, and give the Twins a good start.
Yeah, you know, we all saw the numbers in AAA, 8-6, very good ERA, under 3, but in his first start against the Oakland A's, his major league debut, it was not what he expected. 7 walks in 2 innings. The Twins ended up losing that ball game. He did come out of the bullpen in Houston, worked 2 1/3 innings, walked a couple. So the first 2 outings have not been what Trevor May has wanted, and basically throw the ball over the plate, trust your stuff, and hopefully work with Eric Fryer here tonight.
And Eric Fryer says it's more of a mental challenge than anything else.
Once he starts getting some outs rolling together, I think he'll just start believing in himself and confidence starts building, and then it just snowballs after that, and he'll just pick it up. So hopefully, you know, things start out the way he wants to, down in the zone, working ahead in the count, being able to mix his pitches in the way he wants to, and he should be fine tonight.
Well, for the Kansas City,
Sounds simple, doesn't it?
yeah, for the Kansas City Royals to persist and hang on, they're going to need a lot of leadership down the stretch. They've got a guy, one of their longest tenured players, Alex Gordon, who seems to be saving his best baseball for this critical period of time.
Well, he's had a very good first 3 games in this series, 6 for 11 with a home run. He has scored 5 times with a triple. And this is a guy that not only offensively has had a good series, he's also made a very good couple catches out in left field. The 3-time Gold Glove winner kind of leads by example. He is out there night after night.
He's in there tonight. Trevor May will face him and the rest of this Kansas City lineup that's been the feel-good story of baseball so far this year. How will Trevor May do in his second start of the year? We'll find out next. Threat of rain throughout the day here at Target Field, but we haven't had, to my knowledge, a drop of rain yet. We hope that is the case with
showers north and south and east and west of us. But Trevor May hoping to have a good and long outing here. The Royals on a roll. They've won 7 series in a row. Back on July 21st, there were just 3 games separating the Royals and the Twins. And we know what's happened to the Twins. Right now, there's 12.5 games separating them. That's how hot the Royals have been. The Menards batting order for Kansas City in their last game here this year. Nori Aoki, Omar Infante, Salvador Perez, Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, Josh Willingham, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, and Gerard Dyson.
That 24-year-old Trevor May making his 2nd major league start, his 3rd appearance. And the numbers, don't look at the walks, just should cross them out. Cross them out. A couple strikeouts for May. He's not allowed a home run in 4 1/3 innings. But here's a guy that had really good stuff down in AAA. Just maybe needs to take some deep breaths here tonight. Trust his stuff. And I'm curious to see how Fryer's going to set up, especially the first couple innings right behind home plate. Don't move much. Let him trust his fastball.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Chris Parmalee in left field. Jordan Schaefer getting the starting assignment off. Danny Santana back in the outfield. Osvaldo Arcia in right. Trevor Plouffe, Eduardo Escobar, Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, and Eric Fryer around the mound. Fryer, who caught Trevor May, told me about 8 times in Rochester before making the battery tandem together in Oakland a little more than a week ago.
Yeah, you see the fingernail polish on Fryer. Sometimes it's hard to see, so a little bit of polish. And here's a fastball right here. Fryer not moving much, and there's strike 1.
Nori Aoki taking a strike. He'll be followed by Omar Infante and Salvador Perez. Bounce to short. Escobar to Mauer. 2 pitches, 1 out.
When you throw 92 to 94, trust your fastball. Everything keys off the fastball, and hopefully he'll be able to do that. Let's take a look at the Mall of America scouting report on young Trevor May, just making his 2nd major league start. Yeah, he can be wild. We saw that in his first 2 starts, and needs to follow his catcher. Exactly what we're talking about. Fryer is just going to do his best to not move much behind the plate, especially on strike 1. Make him throw a strike. And there's a good pitch, just a little low.
Infante taking ball 1. Infante's really stabilized a revolving door position for the Royals. And a strike 1-1. Second base has been a less than set position for the Royals. Coming over from the Tigers. He's been a reliable player for Kansas City. Off the end of the bat, Escobar gets another try. Fires on the run, 2 down.
Yeah, good changeup right there, getting that ground ball. Infante seeing a lot of changeups here in the first 3+ games against the Twins pitching staff. Trevor May, a 1-1 count, goes to the changeup. Infante, who has not had the best of series so far. That's now 1 for 15 so far in the series. Seeing a lot of off-speed pitches.
2 quick outs. Here's Salvador Perez. And off the glove of Plouffe into short left field. And Perez will reach.
That should be an error right there. That's a ball that has to be made right there. Trevor going to his left, and he kind of backpedaled right there. Take a look. Perez swinging at the first pitch. And kind of nonchalantly kind of went over there and just right off the tip of the glove.
Give Perez a base hit.
Oh, no.
Here's Billy Butler.
Oh, no.
Butler, the batter.
Butler having a good series.
His first really good series against the Twins. The Twins had bottled him up pretty well.
Well, he really struggled early on, and that's when the Twins played a lot of their ball games against the Royals. And he's been swinging a good bat, very good second half, and he himself said, "I've always hit better in the second half." He just, I just never hit as bad as I did in the first half before.
Off the plate, 2-0.
Butler in his 8th season with the Royals, just 28 years old. Made the All-Star team for the Royals back in 2012. A career .298 hitter coming into this year. You see the difference between first half and second half.
3-0, Gordon on deck. This is what May has had problems with from the windup. Things have been okay, but as soon as guys have gotten on base pitching from the stretch, his control has wavered. He's going to try to come back here from 3-0 to get Butler, or else he'll face Gordon with 2 men on.
And Butler may have the green light right here. Fryer sitting down the middle, and Butler taking it for ball 4.
On 4 pitches. First and second for Gordon. Fryer giving signs in the event Perez and Butler take off, and if they do, I will not only jump out of this booth, I'll go down the 10 steps to the level below us and jump out of the second deck. If you're going to put guys on, these are the guys to put on for the Royals, because just about everybody else will steal a base.
Perez has 1 stolen base. Butler doesn't have any yet.
Here's Gordon.
Fryer again, sit down the middle of the plate.
Up high.
Now, what I have seen from May, now I was not in Oakland, I wasn't in Houston, but I did watch it on TV. He's really leading with the wrist. And when you lead with the wrist of your throwing hand, that ball's going to have a tendency to kind of be up in the zone. Needs to get on top of the ball. Like that. That's a better pitch right there. And it's all more than just making adjustments. Right out front. You know, Ventura the other night, that we showed him kind of a slow motion, how he utilizes that wrist area to really create that downward break and plane that pitchers are looking for.
Well, May, a much bigger guy than Ventura. Doesn't throw quite as hard. 1-1.
Good
Swing and a miss.
changeup there. Good changeup. May has all 4 pitches. We've seen basically the fastball has some sink to it at times. Very good changeup. Also a curveball and a slider. Of course, May coming over from the Philadelphia Philly organization in the Ben Revere trade.
1-2. Big pitch to Gordon.
There's a curveball right there and a good block by Fryer.
In analyzing his own disappointing outings, May said, you know, I've got pretty good control of my curveball, but I haven't had a feel for it. I haven't been able to throw it close to where I want to, and I think we just saw that again.
Well, that's a good count to do it too, because you almost had a pitch to work on something. Now the count 2-2. Now you don't want to work on something. You want to try to get the out here. You don't want to go 3-2 with the slow runners at first and second.
Got him with a changeup, and May fights through some adversity in the first inning and pitches a scoreless first inning. Trevor May was able to pitch out of that.
Yep, good job the first inning getting out of that inning.
And Ron Gardenhire hoping that May has plenty more innings tonight left in him after a short start yesterday by Tommy Malone. And hoping the Twins can get a split of this 4-game series with this Menards batting order. Danny Santana, followed by Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Kenny Vargas, Oswaldo Arcia, Trevor Plouffe, Chris Parmelee, Eric Fryer, and Eduardo Escobar.
And for the 4th time this year, the Twins will face Jason Vargas on the mound, making his 23rd start, coming off probably his best start of the year. And that last Wednesday, a 3-hit shutout over the Oakland A's. The Royals won that ballgame 3-0. That shutout, his 6th career shutout for Jason Vargas.
Santana, Dozier, and Mauer here against Vargas. Strike on the outside corner. Santana's never faced the Kansas City left-hander.
Well, what he'll see is not an overpowering fastball, but excellent control. He changes speeds well. He'll mix in a slider, curveball, but a very good changeup, and that keys off the fastball. Kind of what we saw from May in the first inning, throwing some good changeups.
Inside 2-1.
Showed you the numbers on Vargas. Only 29 walks, 2 intentional in 144 innings pitched. 96 strikeouts.
Base hit to left. Santana barreled one up on 2-1, and he's aboard with a leadoff single. Royals very good in the field, and here is their alignment brought to you by Northland Ford. Alex Gordon has made quite an impression on the Twins in left field over the years. Gerard Dyson as fast as anyone in center. Nori Aoki's made a couple of nice plays in this series. Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Butler, the infielders. And Salvador Perez, an all-star starter this year. It will happen, I suspect, many more times in his career. He has emerged as the best catcher in the American League. Brian Dozier taking strike one. Dozier's average seems like it's been stuck in the 230 range to 240 pretty much for the last 3 months.
3 hits and 11 at-bats against Vargas.
Missing inside 1-1.
Vargas, 31 years old, his first season with the Royals, signed as a free agent over the winter to a 4-year contract. Had his appendix removed in early July. This is his 4th start since coming back off the disabled list. First couple not very good outings, but his last one, again, the 3-hit shutout. There's career numbers. 11 complete games, 6 shutouts.
In the dirt. 2-1, the count that Vargas had with Santana before his base hit.
Kind of tells you the pitcher that Vargas was in his last start. He threw only 97 pitches for the 9 shutout innings. Basically, you know, they put the ball in play. Only 4 strikeouts, no walks in that ball game.
Capper foul. 2-2. Vargas, longtime Seattle Mariner, pitched for the Angels last year. Hit the market to fill out what has been a very good rotation, and there's no secret to any of this. Why are the Royals where they are? Why are the Twins where they are? It's been starting pitching.
Their pitching staff combined 3.70 ERA. Twins pitching staff combined 5.02.
That's the starters.
Yes, starters.
Just missing the inside corner, a dangerous pitch to Dozier because he likes to turn on that pitch. It's a full count. We'll see what the Twins do with Santana here.
It's been 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts against Vargas. 10 successful stolen bases. So look for Santana to be taken off here.
And there he goes, and the ball hit to third. no chance to get Santana. Moustakas fires to Butler instead.
Well, you stay out of the force out right there. That's why I mentioned in the bottom of the inning that 2-2 pitch. So important. And Vargas got the 3-2 on Brian Dozier. And with Santana going, Moustakas had no chance to get the force out at second, but does get Dozier out at first.
The Twins hitters that have had the greatest success against Vargas are left-handed hitters, including Mauer. Joe 10 for 24, 417 average against Vargas. And Parmelee 7 for 13, a 538 average against Vargas. In part, I suppose, because it's one of his better pitches is a changeup, and it's a tougher pitch to throw if you're a left-hander to a left-handed batter. And Mauer takes ball one.
Yeah, opponents coming into this ball game against Vargas hitting .258, left-handers .264, right-handers .255. He's given up 14 home runs, only one to a left-handed hitter.
Mauer's hit 2 home runs since coming back into the lineup about a week ago. And that ball hit Santana in the foot. Vargas's pickoff throw low. Santana appears to be all right.
Yeah, the daylight play was put on by the shortstop Escobar, and Vargas a little late turning, allowing Santana to get back to the bag, and the throw low and ends up getting the shoe of Santana.
1-0. Santana to third, and Perez can't get a grip on the ball. We haven't seen Twins steal third base absent a double steal attempt very often at all.
Well, Vargas, you see the high leg kick right there, and Perez, well, you know, tried to throw. The ball just slipping out of his hand. So Santana gets over to third base on his 12th stolen base.
Royals are going to bring the infield in here in the first inning. 2-0 to Mauer. Three 3-0. Kenny Vargas on deck. Stands in.
Well, Jason Vargas knows the success that Joe Mauer has had against him. I'd be surprised if he gets anything too good to hit here.
On the outside corner.
Good fastball down and away. I think Joe was taken all the way right there too. Joe, one of those hitters not afraid to hit with 2 strikes on him, but the count in his favor, 3-1. Perez sitting inside.
And a swing and a foul, 3-2. 2 home runs before he went on the disabled list, and 2 since he's come back.
Well, good to see some pop out of the bat of Joe Mauer. And that's what the Twins want to see. They want to see him driving in more runs and getting that average back to normal around 320.
Now a full count. It was 3-0, and now Vargas is got a full count pitch here to Mauer. Kenny Vargas on deck.
See if they go to the changeup right here.
Foul tip. Mauer claiming it hit the dirt, and the at bat's still alive, I believe. Yep. Mauer claiming that the foul tip hit the dirt, and now Chris Siegel is going to get some rebuttal from Ned Yost.
Well, it looked like the changeup, and it was perfect down and away, and you could see the little bounce in front of the glove of Perez.
Well, now Joe Mauer discussing it with Siegel as if Mauer's been called out. There's no question it was a foul tip. The ball went straight down on the dirt, and then on replay you could see the ball bounce up into Perez's glove.
That is a tough call, so hopefully he can ask for some help because of where that umpire sits behind the catcher.
We could see the dirt kick up.
I thought that first shot that we had really showed the ball kind of hitting the dirt before it bounced into the glove. Let's take a look at the first shot right here. Let's see. Straightaway center shot. Sure looked like it hit the dirt.
Well, two things had to happen. It had to be foul tipped, and you could see the ball was redirected. And then it had to have hit the ground, and you could see in replay that it did. But given this discussion, it sure sounds like Joe Mauer's been called out. Otherwise, Ned Yost would be picking up the argument. Yeah, Joe's out. It's a strikeout. Now, you can't, as a manager, argue balls and strikes. What Gardy is arguing was that Field and Colbreth might have seen a different.
I'm telling you, that's a tough call for a home plate umpire because a glove, you almost have to watch the ball hit the dirt. And that's of course where you'd like to have help from, the crew chief, right. Field and Colbert, or the first base umpire, Dan Iasani.
Well, now the Twins need to pick me up, and Chris Siegel is hearing more from the Twins dugout here.
You have to check the ball. You got to check the ball. The ball hit the ground, check it. You got to check the ball.
And Gardy's toss, he wanted the ball checked. I think our microphone could pick that up. Check the ball to see if there's a scuff mark. And I think what Gardy did there was to do what he could to keep Joe Mauer in the game, who I don't believe has ever been ejected. And what he's saying is just check the ball.
I'm wondering if Kenny Vargas asked the umpire to check the ball. And maybe they said, no, we're not going to.
Which is a hitter's prerogative, right?
Right.
All right, the ball goes down. The spin changes. It hits the dirt and bounces up into Perez's mitt.
Well, all Gardy got thrown out for is just check the ball.
And the final words were, that's wrong. And I believe the manager is right. A hitter can have an umpire ask the umpire to check the baseball. And I think that was the basis of the Twins' appeal. I don't think it would have changed anything with Mauer already back in the dugout. So the manager is gone. And the Twins need a pick-me-up from Kenny Vargas against Jason Vargas. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, like Danny Santana, Vargas has never faced Jason Vargas. Terry Steinbach will, I'm sure, take over as manager. Interim manager as Gardy was ejected.
Swing and a miss.
Good change up there by Vargas.
Oh, and 2 to the rookie from the veteran. Edges up. Joe, I think, was on the verge of getting ejected himself when the manager interceded. 2 and 2.
One thing we have seen from Kenny Vargas is in situations like this, he doesn't have that big swing. So he'll try to put that ball in place somehow.
2 and 2. Off the end of the bat.
Tim Lautner was talking about Vargas in the pregame about how they're putting a little bit of shift on him now. They're playing pretty much straight up right here against Vargas as a right-handed hitter, but how he has just taken a pitch away and gone the other way. Now Perez sitting inside. And
now full count with Arcia on deck. The good news is as odd as it might be, whenever Terry Steinbach has served as acting manager, the Twins have won. They're 6-0 with Terry Steinbach as the acting manager. Full count to Kenny Vargas
for the changeup.
And a high pop-up short center field.
That's what it was.
And the Twins get a leadoff single, a steal of third, but leave Santana at third base.
Plate. Not only did they develop a familiarity in AAA, but they've also had a chance to watch the first 3 games of this series together in the dugout, study the Kansas City hitters, and develop a game plan for today. Fryer told me the biggest thing that they talked about is getting strike 1, not nibbling around the strike zone. He threw a first pitch strike to 2 of the 5 hitters in the first inning, so we'll see how he does with that game plan here in the second, guys.
You know, you'd like to be a machine out there, thank you, Jamie, and get strike 1 all the time, but if you miss, get back to strike. Make it 1-1 rather than 2-0. And that's the goal of any pitcher. Continue to pitch ahead in the count.
May will go after Josh Willingham here, leading off the second inning. Mike Moustakas will bat next, and then Alcides Escobar. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Josh hitting a home run off of Brian Duensing in yesterday's ball game. Picked up the big 3-run double here the other night for the Royals since being traded over. This is his 7th game played as a Kansas City Royal.
One and one. And over the inside corner.
Now you have another chance to work on that slider or breaking ball right here. I learned that early on from Gaylord Perry when I was with Gaylord Perry. If you had a breaking ball wasn't working, these are the counts that you can try to make it work.
Backhanded nicely by Escobar from the seat of his pants. He throws across. And Willingham will get an infield hit.
Yeah, that looked like a breaking ball, just stayed up and allowed Josh to hit it sharply. Great effort by Escobar. And Willingham gets a base hit. Get a location of this pitch. Just kind of stayed right there. Nice backhanded play, but then fell and still tried to get Willingham.
Mike Moustakas, the batter. And May from the stretch where he's had some issues. Check swing and a strike. May May was guilty of many things, according to the field staff, gripping the ball too tightly. We've seen him last fastball 93 miles per hour. 92, but we saw him top out at 92 in Oakland, which is probably part of the, gripping the ball too hard.
Yeah, there's not that much difference between 92 and 94. It's just location. When you're always in Oakland, he walked 7 batters.
0-2 to Moustakas.
Now ahead in the count. Keep the ball down right here. That ball about thigh high. Now you're thinking, okay, give me a ground ball. He's got a little bit of a sinker, a little two-seamer. If they're going to go fastball, sink it down and away. You have to keep an eye on Willingham, because if you don't pay him any attention, he will take off. We've seen it in a Twins uniform.
There's a bloop into center. Base hit. Willingham will try for third. Here's Santana's throw, and he is out. Wow. Willingham stared him down and decided to try it, and Santana threw a strike to Plouffe.
He threw a P to Trevor Plouffe. All the way in the air, and it was a line drive throw from Danny Santana to Trevor Plouffe. Just a fastball up that Moustakas hits into center field. Santana charges it, comes up, and fires a P to Trevor Plouffe to get Willingham. Perfect throw.
1 down, a runner at first, and Escobar the batter. Way out in front. Might have been the breaking ball there.
Well, he has started almost the first 7 hitters all fastballs. I think Escobar was looking fastball right there. They started him off with a breaking ball, and Escobar swung wildly. He has had another good series against the Twins.
Double play grounder.
Yeah, good pitch.
6-4, 3, and a good inning again for Trevor May. You're watching the Twins and Royals, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Oswaldo Arcia will lead off the second. Trevor Plouffe and Chris Parmelee will follow, facing left-hander Jason Vargas. Pitch pounded foul over by the camera well. Garcia, one of 6 players to hit a home run. There's Josh Willingham talking it over with former Twins outfielder Rusty Kuntz. Tony Santana with a single, a stolen base, and an assist, throwing Willingham out at third a few moments ago. Up the middle, into the shift, backhanded by Escobar, and got him at first. Twins thought they had a threat. Well, they did in the first inning. It looked like they might be able to get a run in during the Mauer at bat that was aborted early.
Well, Vargas has had a lot of success in the first inning. Now they say that that ball was not trapped. It was caught by Perez. And Mauer was called out. Ron Gardenhire, all he wanted Siegel to do was to check the ball, and they did not do that. A little wink right there by Perez. Kind of tells, I think, the story.
Garcia retired, 1 down, and here's Trevor Plouffe. Foul back, 1 strike. Plouffe didn't play in the ball game yesterday. Makes up an end, ball 1.
Vargas, a left-handed pitcher, will pitch inside to set up that changeup down and away. So he will work both sides of the plate.
Another one foul back.
Well, one more thing about Vargas, he has pitched very well on the road this year. In 10 starts, he's 4-2, but a very good 2.13 earned run average. Only a couple other pitchers in the American League have better road ERAs.
Out in front of the changeup, 2 down. Bring up Parmalee. Time for you to tweet a photo using hashtag #NorthFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Chris Parmalee will hit against Vargas, and the Royals will go into the pull shift. Outside, ball 1.
Parmalee, not only good numbers against Vargas, as you mentioned earlier, is hitting .316 against lefties this year.
It's been an uneven ride to the big leagues, a long stint here for Parmalee, taken off the 40-man roster, but numbers like that will bode well for him down the road if he's proven that he can hit left-handed pitching. As a part-time player, he figures to be a candidate at least to take a roster spot for a long time.
I think this is where we've seen him improve right here with 2 strikes, making better contact.
Taking 2 and 2.
And we've also seen him against lefties shoot the ball the other way rather than continue to try to pull the ball.
Gotten a lot of hits right where second base umpire David Rackley's standing. 3 and 2. Vargas thought it was strike 3. Fryer will hit next. That's where Rackley is standing, and that's where Parmalee's gotten so many of his hits against left-handers. Saw him bunt for a base hit here the other day, and he squirts one past Moustakas in a completely different way. He's beaten the shift again.
Well, again, what he's really worked on with Tom Bernansky is, that 2-strike, almost protect the plate type swing, and he gets rewarded right there. There's Bruno. He spent a lot of time with a lot of these young hitters to try to make them better.
If you have any bat control at all, and it's not an easy thing to do up here, but stands to reason if they're going to have 3 infielders on one side of the field and only 1 on the other, you ought to try to hit it to the other field. There's Fryer.
Again, easier said than done.
I know. Fryer lifts it foul down the right field line into the seats.
Fryer starting the season in Rochester, AAA, getting called up on June 13th.
Down and in. 1-1. We've talked about this before. The Twins have a more conventional catching tandem now with Suzuki, the regular catcher, and Fryer, a backup type of guy. The Twins don't have any long-term desire to have Fryer be their regular catcher like they did with Josniel Pinto, who's hitting okay in Rochester, but the catching's still a little rough down there for Pinto. The signing of Suzuki to an extension will allow the development a little more time to occur for Pinto down in the minor leagues. 1-2. Dribbler left side, and Escobar fires across. The Twins are done. Another base hit, another runner left aboard. We have 2 scoreless innings here at Target Field. Just prior to the All-Star break, Michael Kadire on our Sanford Health injury report activated. Boy, was he active yesterday. For the second time in his career, hitting for the cycle.
Yeah, last at bat, he got a double right there to complete the cycle.
Not sure what happened on that triple that started the cycle.
That and the lights.
And Kadire, who picked up his first cycle as a member of the Twins, picked another one up last night. Paul Molitor came really close to hitting for 2 different cycles. He did it against the Twins when with the Brewers. He got all 4 hits in the one game against one pitcher, Kevin Tapani. And then when he finished his playing career with the Twins on a night in Arlington, Texas, he had 3 of the hits. The game was a blowout. Twins were up something like 9-2 or something like that. Had an opportunity in the 8th or 9th inning to do it, and Texas manager at the time intentionally walked him.
Was that Buck Showalter?
No, that was Johnny. That was Johnny Oates.
Johnny Oates. Okay.
1-1 to Dyson. Aoki and Infante will follow. You can understand intentionally walking Molitor if the score was 4-3 or something, but it was a wide open ball game. Down and away.
Well, guy you want to keep off the bases right here. Tyson leading the Royals with 27 stolen bases of their 110 that they have stolen this year, the most in the American League. Good pitch.
2-2. Molitor, by the way, just one of 8 players who've hit for the cycle who got all 4 hits against the same pitcher. 2-2 to Dyson. Slapped foul. .30 pitches for May, 20 strikes, a much better percentage in his first 2 big league appearances. It literally was a toss of the coin. Half his pitches, only half were strikes. Another one. Foul.
Well, he makes your major league debut. He did it in Oakland. Very nervous, and I'm sure he's nervous here tonight. But hopefully the first couple innings, got the double play ball last inning. Take a deep breath. Continue to make some good quality pitches.
Breaking ball tapped weakly to first. Mauer will go to the bag ahead of Dyson. One away. A lot of ground ball outs. In fact, every out except for the strikeout's been hit on the ground. Target Field's become the top choice for families throughout Twins territory for all kinds of special occasions and commemorations. Groups of 25 or more qualify for special ticket discounts. You can reserve certain seats without a deposit. So organize your family group outing at Target Field by calling 800-33-TWINS or going to twinsbaseball.com/groups. One gone on the third, and now Aoki. Popped up into the seats. We should explain a little bit about what might have happened here tonight and what did happen yesterday with the threatening weather. It was pretty much a threat of rain throughout the late afternoon hours, early evening hours here, and there still is. There's a nice bunt. Plouffe charging, barehanding, got him. Very good play by Trevor Plouffe. Great anticipation that allowed him to make the play.
Yeah, as soon as he saw the bat kind of go down from Aoki, he came charging in at third. He was playing in about on the grass anyway. Take the bunt away. But a nice play by Trevor Plouffe. Right there, you see Trevor Plouffe hustling in. Only one play to get the speedster, and that's to barehand it and get it over to Mauer. Very nice defensive play by Plouffe.
2 down, and Infante, the batter. The weather the last couple of days has been unsettling, and yesterday we had a situation here that no one wanted, but it happened anyway. The delay at the start of the game because of the threat of rain. That call was made by the umpiring crew because this is Kansas City's last trip here. It was not made by the Twins. And a good inning for Trevor May as he gets 3 ground ball outs and a 1-2-3 third.
It's only raining hard right there. It's not on the field.
So now in the bottom of the third inning, we have what happened in the top of the second yesterday. Larry DeVito talking it over with crew chief Field and Culbreth.
Well, they just must feel this is just a quick little small shower. It's starting to lighten up already.
What happened yesterday, though, is it didn't lighten up, and Tommy Malone had to pitch on a really slimy mound. And we'll just say that it didn't look like Tommy Milone was a very good mutter yesterday. He had a really tough time locating his pitches.
I think I mentioned it yesterday, Dick. You know, when we showed that his foot was slipping a little bit, I'm surprised, you know, somebody didn't go out there and or himself say, hey, you know what, I'm slipping here. Let's get some diamond dust out here.
There's a high pop up to left center field. That ball drifting out almost to the edge of the warning track. Escobar with a lot of altitude and some depth, but an out nonetheless. One down. Fox Sports Supports is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer's 4th annual star-studded telecast. Catch the fundraiser featuring music performances and stars from film, TV, and sports in a momentous and inspiring stand against cancer. September 5th, 7 Central on Fox Sports 2. Danny Santana singled, got as far as third base in the first inning. What the Twins have seen from Santana, brief periods where things haven't gone well, and yesterday was one of those times. He started the game with a triple, and he struck out 3 times and hit a ground ball to second. But what he has done is rebounded from those very short series of Santana getting a drier helmet. He had the wrong helmet on.
Well, being a switch hitter, you have 2 helmets with that earpiece, and I guess he went up there with the opposite helmet.
That'll be a clubhouse fine, I would think. Swing and a miss. He's done a great job of not letting things snowball, from striking out 3 times in a row and grounding out. First time up, next at bat or next game, boom, line drive, base hit. 0-2. Now 1-2.
You know, it's nice to see about Santana and also Vargas, switch hitters. Now, Santana doesn't have the power that Vargas is going to generate throughout a career, but, you know, I mean, here, left-handed pitcher out there, he can hit right-handed.
Left center field, fairly deep. Gordon tracking it, backpedaling to the track. And the Twins have threatened to take Vargas deep twice already here in the 3rd inning.
Well, the flag's out in left field, blowing pretty hard straight out, so any fly ball out there has been drifting. And then with the humidity, a little humid here, that ball's going to travel a little bit quicker and further. So 2 deep fly ball outs, but Vargas has 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Dozier hit a ground ball to 3rd his first time up. Twins sent Santana on the play. Moustakas threw Dozier out at first. Ball 1. Another pop-up. This one shorter to the infield. Escobar backpedaling to make the catch. And a quick bottom of the 3rd inning on 8 pitches. We head to the 4th, no score. City Royals, and the results have been pretty positive. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Royals 14 times have scored 5 or more runs in an inning, twice in this series.
Yeah, the Royals hitting 264 as a ball club. Only the Tigers are hitting better at 273. Twins offense combined as a team hitting 248. That's 12th in the American League.
First time that May's pitched to hitters a second time in the big leagues. We'll see how he fares here, particularly with the likes of Perez, Butler, and Gordon here in the 4th inning. Strike one.
Well, 7 ground ball outs so far, recorded by Trevor May. 1 strikeout, no fly ball out yet. Perez, of course, in that first inning, jumped on the first pitch, and a ball that I think Trevor Plouffe should have gotten to, got an infield base hit.
0-2 to Perez.
Perez, a 2-time All-Star last couple of years, only in his 4th season with the Royals. Good looking young player, only 24 years old, from Venezuela.
Breaking ball in the dirt. One and two. Off the end of the bat, a fly down the left field line. And that ball's going to land about 5 feet foul.
They got fooled by that breaking ball, and that ball looked like it was going to be trouble, but thank goodness it was foul. Royals signed Perez to a long-term contract, so they know how good this young man can be. They do not want to lose him to free agency.
And they don't want to go through arbitration with him either.
No.
All-star starter, Gold Glove winner, 3rd place hitter, fouled back. In series play against Kansas City, the Twins have a 3-game sweep here. They won 1 out of 3 in Kansas City. And then they won 1 out of 3 here and 1 out of 3 in Kansas City. And now so far have won 1 out of 3 here in this 4-game series. 1 series left, and that is in Kansas City next week.
So this is the 16th game between these two teams. And the
Yes,
Royals
it is.
are up 8-7.
Yep. You nailed it this time. 1 and 2.
3 games over the last night.
Chopper to third. Plouffe has time to throw. Got him. 1 down.
Another ground ball out.
A chance for you to get back your Zubas that your loved ones threw out. The infamous 90s loungewear. The Twins are having a special Zubas night Friday, September 19th. The Twins battling the Indians. A ticket and a pair of Zubas will cost you as little as $26. Visit twinsbaseball.com/Zubas for information and tickets. 1 down. Here's Billy Butler. Down low, ball 1.
Tried to change up right there. Pretty good pitch. Just missing a bit low. The only walk that May has allowed, that was to Butler in the first inning on 4 pitches.
And a bell-tie fastball. Strike. This is what the Twins envisioned when they called up Trevor May. 45 pitches, 32 strikes. An outstanding strike-to-ball ratio. Popped up. And Mauer across the line, approaching the railing with the play. The first fly ball out, 2 down. We'll bring up Alex Gordon with the bases empty. Carsoup.com trivia question: who's the only Royal player to hit for the cycle against the Twins? I think I know the answer to that. I'm not going to give it. I'm going to withdraw from the question because I'm pretty sure of it. Gordon came close in the ball game yesterday.
You know, speaking of cycles, you know, my motorcycle was given away, the Circle Me Burt motorcycle, for the Harmon Killebrew Hospice Foundation, and
raffled
found out today through the raffle they raised about $125,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I want to personally thank everybody who bought a raffle ticket and donated to the Hospice Foundation. On behalf of Harmon Killebrew, I say thank you.
1-1 to Gordon. It's poked to left center. Down for a hit, cut off by Parmalee. Gordon digging for second, and the throw way off mark. It'll be a 2-out double.
Yeah, and you knew Gordon was going all the way right there with 2 outs. The ball hit in the gap. Parmalee, a left-handed thrower, has to go over there and field it, and no chance really to get Gordon. Right off the end of the bat, he just went with the pitch the other way. So Gordon, who was 6 for 11 in the first 3 games, adding an extra base hit, gets in a scoring position with 2 outs, his 29th double of the year, and the 4th hit for the Royals.
Josh Willingham, the batter, hit a hot ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Escobar, but Escobar's thrown out in time. Fox Tracks presented by Dodge. Ooh, riding fastball. Ball 1.
Well, we saw Josh get hit a lot as a Twins player. That's one you do not want to get hit by. That ball was about neck high. Josh just getting out of the way.
1-0 to Willingham.
Now paint the corner
3 times.
I got underneath that pitch. Again, sometimes I've seen May, especially out of the stretch position, maybe a little bit too quick, and not that the right arm just because it can't catch up, and that means that you lead with the palm of your hand. It creates that high fastball.
2-0 to Willingham.
And no reason. I mean, with Gordon's not going anywhere, get to that nice balance point and create that downward plane. Better there.
At the knees.
Those are the adjustments you make. Let your arm catch up to your body. Work out front.
Two and 1. Changeup missing low. 3-1. A base is open. Moustakas on deck.
Yeah, be very careful here. Moustakas has been struggling. Willingham, a lot of power, as we know. Don't want to make a mistake here. If you walk him, you walk him.
Mean to, and a check swing foul that nearly got Terry Steinbach. I'll just mention that's the type of ball that I'm concerned about. If that was a Twins hitter who did that, the on-deck hitter might have been in great jeopardy there.
3-2 count. Maybe Willingham's looking breaking ball. We've seen he's a pretty good breaking ball hitter. We saw in yesterday's ball game. Make a good pitch here.
Might be the changeup. Fastball lifted foul. Another 3-2 pitch coming.
If I'm going to throw him a fastball here, it's going to be hard in. And if I do throw a breaking ball, I have to make sure that it's just on the other side of home plate. Josh will swing through it.
3-2 to Willingham. High fly, center field. Santana drifting over. Inning over. 4 shutout innings for Trevor May. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Betcher and Spence. All on Fox Sports Northeast, presented by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven, Jamie Hirsch bringing you Twins baseball here. No score, bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, talk to Joe Mauer. You know, he's still got that little bit of nagging feeling in that oblique strain. And he said what has helped me, he says, I swing right-handed sometimes. I was watching Joe get ready for this at-bat. He swung some right-handed just to try to stretch it out a little bit. Of course not. He's not going to go up right-handed, but just try to stretch out the oblique area.
I noticed him doing that in the bottom of the third when Brian Dozier was up, and I thought, what's he doing that for?
Yep.
But 1-0 to Mauer was called out on strikes controversially. Here's a ball hit to left center field. Dyson catches the line drive. Another line out for Mauer. One down.
Joe right on the button, but Dyson moved over there and made a nice catch. In his first at bat, we're talking about Kenny Vargas when he had 2 strikes, how we've seen him a couple times. This in yesterday's ball game, driving in Santana when the Twins took a 1-0 lead. Just to shorten it up and drive in some runs. Again, this is only his 16th major league game. He's already driven in 15 runs.
And he'll hit here with the bases empty and 1 out.
And we've seen the power, but also a pretty disciplined hitter. There's that good fastball inside by Vargas, not overpowering, 87, 89 miles an hour. But then it sets that little changeup down and away.
The home run power has come from the left side of the plate. The protect your infielders at all costs power has come from the right side of the plate.
We saw that in Oakland.
0-2 to Vargas. Foul back. Vargas, as a right-handed batter, came into play today. 6 for 20. That's a 300 batting average. 1 double, 3 runs batted in.
And with every power hitter, there's going to be strikeouts, and Vargas is going to be a power hitter.
On the ground to short. Escobar fires across, 2 down. That'll bring up Arcia. Strikeout hunger at Feed My Starving Children. Pack meals at the Coon Rapids and Eagan locations between now and August 31st, or the Chanhassen location between now and September 12th. And while you're there, register for a chance to win admission for 2 to a Twins game and ride in style on the Fox Sports North Fan Express. 2 quick outs here in the fourth. Vargas is in a groove here, and now Arcia will hit.
He's been in a groove every start that he has been against the Twins, making his 4th start. Coming into the ballgame, he allowed only 2 runs in the 21 innings he worked in the first 3 starts against the Twins.
Swing and a miss, another off-speed pitch, 0-2.
2-0, an ERA of .086. But in his career, making his 6th start here at Target Field, has a very high ERA, 2 wins, 2 losses.
What the Twins would like to see from Arcia, more distance between the second strike and the end of the at-bat. So many times when it's 2 strikes, the 3rd strike almost immediately follows. You see Arcia battle up there, and at the very least foul some pitches off.
His last at bat, he had a sharp ball right back up the middle, but right at the shift where Escobar is playing the shortstop.
2-2.
A couple times we've seen it in this series. Hit the ball sharply right back up the middle. That's what Tom Bernanski's working on him with 2 strikes, trying to protect the plate a little bit better. Good
3-2.
Yeah, good take.
So now there has been all the distance you can have from 0-2 to 3-2. We'll see what happens on the full count.
Again, another youngster, Arcia, just turning 23 years old in May.
Struck him out.
Good changeup.
Strike 3 eventually came. A couple of 1, 2, 3 innings for Vargas, and we head to the 5th with no score. do kickstart fans of the game. Twins baseball here. Final game of the year for the Royals here. Twins trying to pull into a what that would be an 8-8 tie then, right, in the season series?
Yes, it would. Okay. Very good.
Looking out at the sky out beyond the center field area here. I can't tell. Is that pretty or is that scary out there?
Well, it's getting nighttime, so it's going to be a little bit darker. Hello.
Looks like there's some pretty serious weather out there out to the north and the east.
Beautiful clouds.
One strike to Mike Moustakas, bottom third of the Kansas City lineup. Alcides Escobar and Gerard Dyson will hit next against Trevor May. To center. And Santana still going back there for the catch. To give you some idea of both how good May has been today and how bad he was in his first two appearances, he has cut his ERA in half. From 12.46 to 6.23.
Well, you know what? Maybe hopefully some of the nervousness is behind him now. A little bit getting his feet wet. That's all. I mean, we have seen rookies come up and, you know, they make a very good major league debut and then they struggle after that. Well, he struggled his major league debut, and so far so good here this evening. 4 1/3 innings, no runs allowed. Good curveball there for strike one.
He had the unenviable task, I guess, of making his debut on the road against the best team in baseball, and the team that at the time was scoring runs better than anybody else. Now the A's since have fallen on some hard times. They're not even in first place anymore in their own division. 1-1.
Well, he's facing a pretty good ball club right here too. The Royals have won 20 out of their last 25 games.
Swing and a miss on the changeup.
Change up there. Good location. Both these pitchers here tonight showing good changeups. May and Vargas.
Vargas hasn't allowed a run now in his last 15 innings. Up and in, 2-2.
As he tried to overthrow the fastball a couple times, he tried to overthrow that curveball. Stay back. Allow that arm to catch up.
Down and in, just missing. 3-2. Only one walk for May tonight. That came back in the first inning to Butler with Perez already aboard. Fouled away. 64 pitches, 44 strikes. The Twins will take that.
You know, Dick, I was a lot like Trevor May. I wanted to work quick. I wanted to be aggressive, you know, and sometimes I had to tell myself to almost show more back pocket sometimes. Stay over a little bit longer. Good pitch right there. Could almost see, I saw the last two pitches, a little better job of getting to that balance point and almost pausing for just a split second. And that allows that arm to catch up. Last two pitches I thought were outstanding, and Escobar fouled them both off.
Missed the outside corner. A one-out walk to Escobar. Second walk issued by May. Target Field is the Twins territory headquarters to entertain groups of 25 or more. If it's a family celebration, a church outing, or an event to raise funds for your organization, reserve your best guest number of seats. Pay only for those you need when the time comes. Find out more. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS.
Well, this is part of the Royals running game right here with Escobar at first, Dyson up, Aoki to follow. Guys that can run those bases very quickly.
Early on, the base runners were Perez, Butler, and Willingham, and Moustakas, and that's not a combo to need to be too concerned about.
And you take the bunt away from Dyson as Trevor Plouffe is in on the grass. Escobar with 24 stolen bases in 27 attempts. Fryer, very good arm behind the plate. See if May uses that slide step. He does.
And misses, ball 1.
And what I mean by slide step is don't bring that knee up to your belt area. Just kind of a quick throw home. And with a speedy runner on, but all you can do is just try to pull the ball a little bit longer from time to time. Or throw as quick as you can, like I did. Don't even stop.
Don't
just
even
throw.
stop.
No.
Then they enact a rule change because of you, and you've left your impact on the game that way.
I was only called a couple balks the next year. I was okay with that.
It was everybody else who tried to emulate you that got called for all the balks. 1-0 to Dyson. Very high.
You need to get the hitter. Don't worry about Escobar right here. You already made a mistake by walking him, and now you don't want 2 speedsters on base. And with the count 2-0, you know, Ned Yost, this might be maybe a hit and run type situation.
There's the outside corner.
Get back down in the zone.
Three and 1 to the number 9 batter with the number 8 hitter on base because of a walk. And back-to-back walks. The 8 and 9 batters get free passes for Aoki. One thing we saw from May, when he lost it, he couldn't find it. It happened in his start against Oakland.
Yeah, it's going to be a good trip right here by Anderson. That's what I was thinking. I have to go out there and talk to him, settle him down. A quick trip to the mound by the pitching coach.
He has gotten Aoki twice on a ground ball in the first inning and a bunt attempt in the third. Royals with 4 hits and now 3 walks, but no runs on the board.
Yeah, good speed on the base paths, of course. We have seen in this now 4-game series is that you know, a lot of the Twins pitchers have shown that inside move to second base. Let them know that you'll have that. It'll be the shortstop Escobar that'll try to keep Escobar close to second.
Missing low, ball 1.
Not missing by much, that pitch. Aoki bunted in his last at bat. That's when Trevor Plouffe made a great play on him in the 3rd inning.
Little dribbler to the right side. Dozier flips to Mauer. Both runners move up, 2 down.
It looked like it right off the end of the bat. Make sure you get an out, and that's what Brian Dozier was able to do.
And now, if May can get Infante, he'll pitch around a pair of 1-out walks.
Brian, knowing he can't get a force out anymore, a little shovel throw over to Mauer for the 2nd out.
Infante with 2 ground ball outs. There were 3 fly ball outs in a row, starting in the 4th, a pop up to Mauer and a couple of fly balls to Santana. Every other out has been recorded with the 1 strikeout, and the rest have all been ground ball outs. High, ball 1. Fouled straight back, 1-1.
Well, left a pitch up right there, and Infante, a veteran, did a good swing at it.
Gordon with a couple of RBIs yesterday, but Infante, to the surprise of many, second on the team in runs batted in. It's clear that anybody for the Royals is going to drive in 75 runs this year.
He's a contact type hitter. Career .280 hitter.
Breaking ball popped up, and it'll reach the seats 1 and 2. May has shown an effective, at least an effective 3-pitch mix, maybe a 4th pitch.
I thought he got that double play off the bat of Escobar on that slider down and away. That was a good pitch. That ended the 2nd inning.
See what Fryer calls for here on 1 and 2 with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 away.
And they've been throwing Infante a lot of off-speed pitches.
Left the breaking ball up, 2 and 2.
Fryer going through a set of signs with a runner at second, using an indicator.
And now missing down and away. It's a full count with Perez on deck.
That's a changeup.
Well, nice takes by Infante. Want Perez to lead off the 6th inning. Three and 2. Just missed. Very close pitch, 3rd walk of the inning. And Perez will have his chance with the bases full.
Fox track says it just missed. And you see,
did it?
Even Fryer kind of, lifted his glove up a little bit. But you know what? If you're all over the place, you're not going to get those calls.
Surprised he goes from the stretch here. He seems to be more comfortable from the windup. Bases are loaded. And a flare into center for a base hit. It'll score 2. The walks come back to hurt Trevor May. The Royals take the first lead 2-0.
Well, breaking ball that just kind of hung right there, and Perez gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. Drives in a couple runs for a 2-0 Royals lead. Saw him jump on the first pitch in the 1st inning, get an infield base hit, and ball hit
right off the
end of the bat. Had some spin on it. Hits the turf. And a couple of runs scored. 2 of the speedsters score, Escobar and Dyson.
And now Butler with 2 men on and 2 out. Only 1 strikeout for May. That was Gordon to wrap up the 1st inning. Came back from 3-0 to strike him out. But everything else has been put in play. Rifled to center field. Santana charges, gets the first hop. Infante around 3rd. He's coming in, and Fryer can't field what looked to be a pretty good throw.
Oh, the short hop right there. Tough for a catcher to get that little short hop. You'd like to hit it maybe on a 1-hopper on the grass, and Santana did make a good throw, but that little short hop, Fryer was unable to get it in his glove. So just like Perez, Butler jumping on that first fastball and picking up an RBI. Santana, good strong throw. Watch this ball land right in front of Fryer. That ball probably should have been caught, but maybe skipped a little bit on the wet turf. He got away from Fryer.
After the 3 walks, 2 pitches drive in 3 runs. Now Alex Gordon doubled to left center his last time up after May struck him out in the 1st. Up and away, ball one. The Royals building one of those crooked numbers again. A 2-out walk and a pair of 2-out singles. Santana nearly picked up his second assist of the ball game. He threw out Willingham at third back in the second inning. Fouled away.
Sad to say, I have not seen Trevor May make any adjustments. The curveball, he's only thrown a couple good ones. Some of them have hung up a little bit. The one that Perez hit, even earlier in the ball game, it's just inconsistent with the breaking ball. And the fastball, not a lot of movement, pretty straight at 92. And this is the big leagues. You better get some movement on that fastball. And he's shown a good changeup from time to time. There's a good changeup there.
Let me go back to him pitching from the stretch. How did you handle it? If there was speed at second and third, was that a factor?
You know what? I think with Escobar there, I probably would have pitched out of the stretch. I did a lot of times with Ricky Henderson because I didn't want him to, ball away to creep up and maybe score on a wild pitch that might just get away from my catcher.
Hope to right, another base hit. Charged by Arcia. They're going to hold the runner this time. And the ball cut off by Mauer. 3 straight 2-out hits. The bases are reloaded for Josh Willingham.
Yeah, looked like another breaking ball that just stayed up. And Terry Steinbach's going to come out and try to stop the bleeding right here.
Now, go back to that pitch to Infante where it looked like May might have struck him out to get out of the inning, but he didn't, and then 3 hits follow.
Yeah, you can't depend on one good pitch to get you out of a situation when you've walked a couple guys before that.
So May sailing into the 5th, can't complete the 5th. 3 runs scored and 3 on the bases for Willingham. Walking 3 batters, including the 8 and 9 batters after the first out. 3 walks and then later 3 damaging hits.
Well, his first 2 starts combined for Trevor May were 4 1/3 innings. That was his start against Oakland, where he walked 7, 4 here tonight, and then 2 in Houston. So control has been an issue in his first 3 major league appearances.
Now he'll hope Anthony Swarzak can strand 3 inherited runners. Swarzak sprained his right ankle in Houston at the end of an outing.
Yeah,
was
that
back on the 12th of August, and had to get to the bus and plane afterward in a walking boot. That's how severe the sprain was. So this is his first outing since then. Strike 1. Not the ideal situation for a relief pitcher. We'll take a look at Swarzak delivering strike 1. Inherited runners, kind of a touchy stat for a relief pitcher, and Swarzak has kind of struggled in that category this year. Half the runners he has inherited have come around to score.
Well, this would help you right here if you were able to get the out.
3 would change the percentages quite a bit.
Yes, it would.
24 inherited runners and 12 runs scored. Down low, 1-1.
Swarzak making his 38th appearance. He did have one start, that coming back in the middle of July when he started against the Cleveland Indians here and got the win. Pitched 5 good innings. Twins won that ball game 3-1.
1-1. Two and one. Inning started with a line out to Santana, then a couple of walks, the second out on a ground ball to Dozier. Third walk followed by 3 singles.
You know, that right ankle, the push off ankle, but he looks fine. 3 straight breaking balls. And there's the first fastball. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Swarzak, you utilize that pitching rubber by putting that right foot shoe in there and push off.
Said he used to sprain that ankle a lot when he was in high school playing basketball. 2-2 to Willingham. Swarzak trying to keep this game within reach. And he got him to swing at a breaking ball in the dirt. The Royals score 3 and leave 3 as they bat around in the 5th inning. .200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Now Jason Vargas take to a 3-0 lead. The Royals got some gifts from Trevor May and some 2-out singles to produce 3 runs.
Yeah, Vargas has retired 7 straight. He threw 39 pitches in the first 2 innings, only 20 pitches over the last 2. 8 in the 3rd and 12 in the 4th. Total pitches right now at 59.
Plouffe, Parmalee, and Fryer for the Twins in the 5th. I think the Twins saw the Royals do to them throughout this series, and one of the reasons the Royals are in first place, they respond well after giving up runs. They've done it to the Twins in this series. We'll see if the Twins can do it. There's a bunt up the line, and it'll roll foul. Hit the edge of the grass. Good idea for Plouffe, but strike 1.
Ball stays on the grass, of course it would stay fair, but once it hit that grass in the spin, pushed it foul.
Plouffe struck out in the 2nd against Vargas. Changeup drifts outside. 1-1. Popped up short center. Dyson comes in. 1 down.
You know, Vargas, one of those guys that utilizes that pitching rubber to really push off and very aggressive toward home plate. And that makes that changeup so much better. You know, Twins have had pitchers to do that. Of course, Santana and Ratke and Frankie Viola. But when you're aggressive as far as pushing off of that pitching rubber, you know, that helps the fastball a little bit against Vargas. Not an overthrower, but what he'll do is he won't throw 90, but right here he explodes toward home plate. That breaking ball missing.
Ball 1. You know, the Royal rotation, if you take a look at Vargas's delivery again.
Again, pushing off that rubber, and then right. Well, we stopped right there, but right as soon as you get to that balance point, then you explode toward home plate, and that creates arm speed. That's why he's tough to pick up with that great changeup.
Busted bat, a bouncer to second. 2 down.
Let's take another look right here. This is the pitch to Parmalee right here. Now, good drive right there. That's where you get it right there. And then a good follow through. I like that. I like it when you get that back leg, that push off leg, and to come over your landing leg. See too many guys that almost throw, and you wonder why they have sore arms. They don't follow through. Bend that back.
Here's Fryer. It's to the right field corner. Aoki has it measured in a very quick 1, 2, 3, 5th. An 8-pitch 4th, followed by a 7-pitch 5th.
Bucket challenge. Well, earlier today, Terry Ryan accepted the challenge and then in turn challenged Twins owner and CEO Jim Pohlad just moments ago. He accepted that challenge, dumped with an ice-cold bath of water from Terry Ryan himself. And now I'm standing by with the Twins owner right now. Looked a little bit shocked, and a nice, long, slow pour, right?
A long, slow pour, that's for sure. Terry, what goes around comes around. That's all I can say, but it's for a great cause.
Was that your first ice bath you've ever had?
Yes. I've never been a head coach in the NFL, so yes, that's the first time.
Well, you took it like a champ. Obviously, not only is it a lot of fun to be doing this, but it's for a great cause, right?
Yeah, it's for a great cause, so that makes it all worthwhile. And I hope everybody else does it and contributes. So.
Yes, and you can go to alsa.org/donate to try to help find a cure for ALS. Congrats and thanks for the time, Jim.
You're welcome. And you've done it too, right?
I have done it.
You're
so, who did you challenge, by the way?
Governor Dayton.
Okay, the challenge is on. You're reaching for the big fish.
Yep. I like it. Thank you.
We'll have to wait and see where this leads with Governor Dayton, whether he accepts the challenge or not. I did my challenge.
It's on TV. My goodness, he has to.
I did my challenge today, or
yes,
I paid off my challenge. My kids got me this morning in my front yard, and then I challenged Tim Laudner, Roy Smalley, and Jack Morris. I haven't heard back. Timmy.
Oh boy! Look at
my
that.
bucket wasn't that full. I had 2 buckets, but neither one was that big. That big chunk of ice hit him on the head.
Yeah, there were some players, Twins players earlier today that had the ice bucket challenge. I believe it was Kurt Suzuki, Tom Verdansky, and Brian Dunsing. So yeah, everybody's getting their share of it.
2-2 to Moustakas.
Now, I watched yours.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, you showed it to me, but I think yesterday you told us you did it the prior night before.
I did, but
you did it twice.
It was so dark,
yeah,
the video wasn't very good.
Why did we not believe you? So you did it for real.
2-2, and a ball hit to center. Santana back and short of the track, makes the catch 1 away. And then that'll bring up Alcides Escobar.
The second time that Moustakas has taken Santana deep to center. In the last inning, he took off Trevor May, hit a deep fly ball to Santana.
Escobar started the mess in the 5th by taking a walk. And then Dyson walked behind him. 1 out later, Infante walked. There were 3 straight singles. The first 2 produced the 3 runs. Tapper to third. Easy play for Plouffe. 2 down. Go back to our trivia question. The only Royals player to hit for the cycle against the Twins, I believe, is Freddie Patek. In 1971.
Well, I was there. I don't believe I was a pitcher, but I may have been. He could fly.
He and Cookie Rojas were, what, 5'6" to be generous, maybe, each of them?
Both of them could hit.
You tend to forget, because the Royals have been, frankly, bad for so long, that they were the gold standard for middle and small markets, perennially competitive, and for a long while there, every year in the playoffs, they, see if this sounds familiar, couldn't get past the Yankees.
Well, they had some great pitchers, Paul Splittorff, Dennis Leonard. They had some great outfielders, and Amos Otis, Big John Mayberry.
And a strike to Dyson. They finally got by the Yankees in the 1980 playoffs, and then lost to the Phillies in the 1980 World Series.
You see, the Royals last cycle was George Brett versus the Blue Jays.
Won the batting title that year. Chopper right side.
Oh, tough play.
Dozier quickly flips. Got him. Good play.
Good play.
And a quick 1-2-3 top of the 6th. For Anthony Swarzak, you're watching the Twins and Royals. Brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious, creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. Quick call, Eduardo Escobar is going to bunt for a hit here. Ball one. He's going to push a bunt between Billy Butler and Jason Vargas and get a leadoff single.
Twins only have 2 hits. Santana started the ball game in the bottom of the first with a base hit, and then Parmley's base hit.
2-0.
Vargas has retired 10 straight. It's kind of what he did in his last outing when he retired 23 straight after giving up a base hit in the second inning to the Oakland A's.
3-0. Santana on deck.
Vargas with 3 strikeouts, no walks.
Down the middle of strike. And ball 4. Lead off walk. And Vargas will have to pitch from the stretch. Catch the final 4th of the season on MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in true high definition on more than 400 devices. Visit twinsbaseball.com for details. Check out the nation's #1 live and streaming sports service, MLB.TV Premium. And now Santana singled, worked his way along to third base. Twins couldn't get him in the first inning. Got a fly ball to left in the third. Taken low, ball 1. Saw Terry Ryan deliver an ice bucket to Jim Pohlad. He also made a little news right before game time today when he said Twins expect that Byron Buxton will not play again this year, as the Twins are willing to just ride out the month of August and let Buxton heal from his collision. And that instead Buxton might go back to the Arizona Fall League or maybe play winter ball someplace to try to make up for lost time.
Yeah, some of the minor league clubs only, a couple, 2-3 weeks left. Why push it? A couple times he's hurt that wrist this year.
1-1.
And then of course the concussion.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good change up there. Santana swinging through it.
We bring it up now not because Buxton was going to get any time in center field at Santana's expense anyway, but Aaron Hicks might get called up and spend some time here in September in the outfield mix.
Well, he's doing well in AA and now in AAA, and he's hitting well. Hitting over 300.
1-2, and Santana hooks it foul. And if that does happen, if he does get called up, there's a decent chance that Santana will still play some in center, and Buxton, for the first time at this level, might play some corner outfield, because that's what he has done as he prepares for a world up here with the eventual arrival of Byron Buxton.
For Aaron Hicks, yes. Yep.
1-2 to Santana. 2-2.
I think if you look down the line and now don't know when it's going to be, you could see Buxton in center, maybe you could see Hicks in left and Arcia in right.
2-2.
This young man right here, maybe at shortstop.
Pulled down the line. Foul by about 4 feet.
Change up, left up, and a couple change ups that he's left up that Santana has hooked foul. And Perez is going to run the ball out to Vargas. Vargas 60 major league wins, 63 losses, and 176 major league starts.
Another 2-2 coming to Santana. Nobody out. Twins trying to get on the board here against Vargas. Little nubber out at second. And no chance at first. Escobar retired, and Santana reaches on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, you saw the speed of Santana right there, staying out of the double play. So Vargas made a good pitch down this time. Looked like a changeup right off the end of the bat. Santana hit it. And Santana hustling out of that box to stay out of that double play.
There is a little bit of a Carew quality to his stride, isn't there? Not huffing and puffing, and his arms hardly moving, just tremendous leg strength. Strike one to Brian Dozier, 0 for 2. Orioles are leading Chris Sale and the White Sox 3-0 in the 7th inning in Chicago.
Baltimore playing good baseball. They have a 7-game lead coming into today's play over the Yankees and a 7.5-game lead over the Blue Jays.
Tigers are idle today. And strike 2 called to Dozier. Vargas getting a couple of calls here in this at bat.
Where May did not, because May was all over the place. Vargas is hitting his spots. It shouldn't matter, but it does.
Well, it was the difference in the Infante at bat. It looked like May threw a perfect pitch to strike out Infante and get out of the inning. Instead, it was the 3rd walk, 3 singles very quickly followed, and that was the end of the night for Trevor May. 2 strikes to Dozier. Tapper to 3rd. Moustakas to Infante. And Dozier beats the relay. 2 down. And that'll bring up Mauer. What's interesting about the playoff picture now, Oakland leveraged its future for this year. And right now, if the playoffs were set up right now, Oakland would have a 1-game playoff or play-in with Seattle. Might have to face Felix Hernandez in that game. Despite all the moves that they've made, Oakland might have just 1 postseason game. And then, as you saw there, if the season ended tonight, the Tigers wouldn't even be in the playoff.
Well, Oakland's struggling. Angels have been playing better baseball, and they're tied in the American League West.
Angels leading Boston 4-1 in the 8th inning at Fenway Park. 1-0 to Mauer. Mauer had the controversial at bat, or the conclusion to his at bat in the 1st inning. Foul tip that on replay appeared to bounce into the dirt, then into Perez's glove. Twins argued. Eventually Ron Gardenhire tossed. And then Mauer lined out to center fielder Dyson. One of the few well-hit balls against Vargas here tonight.
Well, we talked a little bit, Dick, about the races. You know, the Twins, yeah, you know, they're 12.5 games behind the Royals. But, again, they have some say in what might happen in not only our division, but also maybe help out Oakland a little bit with the Angels coming in the next homestand in a 4-game series.
Foul back 2-2. I think just as important as that, the Twins want to feel by season's end that they can head-to-head compete with everybody in the division. Now, to this point, that's happened. If the Twins lose this series to the Royals, well, then they got some work to do in Kansas City next week. But they played the Tigers even up. They played the Indians even up. They have the edge over the White Sox. It's a small step, but a step in the right direction.
Well, why? Because so many games are played in your division. 76 of the 162 are in your division. 19 times, you know, the Twins will face the Royals, the Tigers, the Indians, and the White Sox.
2-1 2-2 to Mauer. Vargas on deck. Twins trying to get another base runner here for Vargas's power. Got a piece of it.
Well, Perez sat inside, and the pitch was inside, and Joe fouled it off.
You know, if you're a player, if you're a general manager, if you're a fan, and your team's out, and you're watching somebody, say Kansas City, Detroit, somebody playing in the playoffs, you want to look forward to next year and say, you know what, we played those guys pretty tough.
So Kansas City Royals that helped the Twins in what, 2006?
Yeah. There's a ball lined to center and down for a hit. Another good at bat by Mauer, and Vargas will come up now representing the tying run. Mauer's hit 2 line drives against Vargas and then had that at bat he feels taken away from him in the first.
Boy, he came into the game with great numbers against Vargas. 10 hits and 24 at bats. Hit the ball sharply, like you said, in his last at bat here, kind of inside out swing, and Joe Mauer picking up the 3rd hit for the Twins here with 2 outs in the 6th.
Jason's won the battle of Vargas's the first 2 times. We'll see how Kenny can fare here. The lead's on the line. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Pop up to second. The ground ball to short so far for Kenny Vargas. Outside, ball 1.
Tried the breaking ball, the backdoor breaking ball that was left outside. .88 pitches for Vargas.
Tapper toward the hole. Wicked hop. And the long throw across by Escobar gets him. That ball took off high on Moustakas, and right there was Escobar, who looked to second and threw to first.
That was a nice play by Escobar.
Lindstrand 2 in the 6th.
Four shutout innings for Trevor May. He hooked up against Vargas, who was also matching up zeros against the Twins until the 5th inning, when the control kind of left Trevor May. He ended up walking the bases loaded, and then Perez with a 2-run single, followed by Billy Butler's RBI single, made it a 3-0 Royals lead.
Anthony Swarzak came into the game to get the final out of the 5th inning. He got the 3 outs of the 6th quickly, and now he'll face the top of the Kansas City order. Strike 1 over the inside corner. Phillies beat the Mariners 4-1. And strike 2. Aoki 0 for 3, hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield. Tried to bunt for a hit in the third.
Even with 2 strikes, Trevor Plouffe playing in almost on the grass.
One and two.
It's a good pickup for the Royals, I believe. Aoki. You know, a couple of years where the Brewers hit .287 over those 2 years. Slap type hitter just like that with speed.
One down.
Really needed somebody to lead off.
And look at the Chrysler Road ahead. The homestand continues tomorrow night with the Cleveland Indians coming to town marginally in the playoff race, a game above the 500 mark. And then night games Tuesday and Wednesday that are televised, Thursday's game not televised. And then what turns out to be now a 4-game homestand with the Tigers because of the split doubleheader on Saturday.
It'll be Kyle Gibson tomorrow night against Trevor Bauer.
One strike to Infante. And now 2 strikes. Swarzak done a nice job. He left the bases full in the 5th and striking out Willingham, and he's retired the 4 batters since. That was quick. Infante gone. He's not had a good series. 2 down.
Swarzak picks up his 2nd strikeout. So 6 up, 6 down for Swarzak.
Before Perez is at bat, come to the game Saturday, September 6th. Get your All-Star Game Glenn Perkins bobblehead presented by Pepsi. First 10,000 fans at Target Field that night will receive that limited edition bobble. Call 833-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. The date, September 6th, against the Angels. 2 down. Here's Salvador Perez.
No, this is not Perez.
Kratz with a deep drive to left on the first pitch. And gone, a home run. Kratz hits a home run. Pinch hitting for Salvador Perez.
I don't know if Perez is hurt, but you know what? When you're playing good baseball, something happens like that. You pinch hit for your catcher. Hopefully Perez is okay, but Kratz hitting a home run. Jumping on that first pitch, a fastball in.
Eric Kratz with a pinch hit home run with 2 out in the 7th. All 4 Kansas City runs have been produced with 2 out hits, and that's what they've been doing for the last month or so. Strike 1. A bigger story, though. Why was Perez taken out of the ballgame?
Right. Kratz coming over from the Toronto Blue Jays. That's his first home run as a Kansas City Royal, his 4th overall on the season.
Now punch to right field. Butler has an opposite field single. Second hit for Butler. He's also drawn a walk. Well, Perez is smiling, so whatever the issue is isn't too serious. Alex Gordon with 2 hits. And a strike. With the exception of Willingham and Moustakas' hits that started the 2nd inning, every other hit for the Royals has been delivered with 2 outs, even the ones that haven't led to any runs. One and 1 to Gordon. Foul back. Eric Kratz hit a home run, and it looked like he broke his bat.
Fastball in. Oh, he did.
Ball got in on the trademark and still left the ballpark. 1 and 2 to Gordon. Hits it to center, and Santana comes in to end the inning. A surprise pinch hitting performance with a surprising result. Eric Pratt's home run makes it 4-0.
Inside the Minnesota Lottery winner's circle with Michael, who is celebrating his golden birthday. That means, of course, he is 18 years old today. And one of the first things that you'll get to do as a legal 18-year-old is to be taking part in scratch-offs. $100 worth of scratch-offs to the Minnesota Lottery. Do I have to explain how to do this?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. But you look really young, so I'm going to have to check your ID here really quickly. And he's got it out. Okay, yep. So August 18th, 1996. My Minnesota math says you are, in fact, 18 years old today. Congratulations on the tickets. Enjoy the Twins game.
Thank you. Go Twins.
Very nice.
Thank you, Jamie.
Give him a quarter.
Arcia grounds it foul. Very quickly, 2 strikes against Jason Vargas. Arcia, Plouffe, and Parmalee will hit here in the 7th. Lorenzo Cain taking over in right field.
Yeah, happy birthday. You are hereby circled, young man.
One and 2. Arcia fell behind 0-2 in the 4th inning, worked the count full, and then went down swinging. Two and 2. Twins had a threat to score in the 1st. Bit of a threat in the 6th, and nothing in between. Here's a drive to right field. Arcia sends one out. And the Twins are on the board here in the 7th. Arcia hitting his 12th home run of the year.
And that stops the shutout streak for Vargas. His 15th home run allowed, and for Arcia, his 12th. He had a home run in last night's ball game. So he's starting to hit some long balls. Let's see, 5th home run hit here in the month of August for Arcia. And his 7th here at Target Field.
One down in the 7th, and now Trevor Plouffe. He hit it off the flagpole out there. The old Met Stadium flagpole, the black one. Jim Thome hit the very top of it. One of his home runs a couple of years ago. Hit hard to right center field, to the gap. Chased by Cain. And he makes the catch. And down. That'll bring up Parmalee. Parmalee with a single to left in the 2nd, and a ground ball to 2nd in the 5th. Ball one. Vargas approaching 100 pitches. Strike, 1-1.
Yeah, most pitches he's thrown in an outing, 116. That coming in the middle of June against the Cleveland Indians.
2-1.
One of 3 veteran starters for Ned Yost and Dave Island, the pitching coach, along with James Shields and last night's winner, Jeremy Guthrie.
Call pop up right side of the infield and Fonte under it. You look at the starters that they have, number 2, they've got an interesting mix. I mean, you like to have different types of starters. So teams, particularly in a 4-game series, you get different looks. You've got a power left-hander in Danny Duffy, and then you got a finesse left-hander in Vargas. You got a finesse righty in James Shields, and then you've got Ventura, who is a power right-hander.
It's a good staff. It really is. Going into the season, of course, they signed Vargas to a 4-year contract and hoping that he could repeat what he did a couple years ago with Seattle when he won 14 ball games and pitched about 220 innings. He had his appendix removed, so he missed some time, but it's been very steady. 9 wins, 5 losses coming into this ball game for the Royals in 23 starts. Then you have James Shields. He's an innings eater.
Right.
Guthrie, for the last 5 years coming into this year's, pitched 200+ innings. There's James Shields.
1-2 to Eric Fryer.
And they went into spring training hoping that they could get a couple 4th, 5th starters. Same thing the Twins are going to go into next year. Hope that the 4th and 5th starter can kind of take up, and Duffy kind of filled that role, and along with Ventura, 2 youngsters.
Foul tip. Perhaps can't hang on.
I think we showed it the other night, Dick. You got Nolasco. If he's healthy, everything's fine. He's going to give you 200+ innings. Phil Hughes. Hopefully you have the year next year he's having this year, and I think Kyle Gibson's even getting better. Malone just had, I think, an off night last night. The rain didn't help.
Kratz. What a pickup by Escobar. Throws him out. What a sensational pick by Escobar at short. Twins get a run on the Arcia home run. You're watching the Twins and Royals. Brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200.
Sports North tomorrow as the Cleveland Indians come to town. Our coverage of the series begins on Fox Sports North at 6:30 tomorrow night. And now, let's go back to Target Field.
Thank you, Jeff Grayson. Right now, the Royals are threatening to take this series 3-1. Oswaldo Arcia with a solo home run in the bottom of the 7th, at least getting the Twins on the board. Now Josh Willingham, Mike Moustakas, and Alcides Escobar will hit for the Royals in the 8th.
Yeah, Swarzak still out there for starting his 3rd full inning of work. He did strike out Willingham to end the 5th inning. With bases loaded, 2 outs, Swarzak relieved Trevor May and struck out Willingham. 10 for 10 first pitch strikes for Anthony Swarzak.
Problem is, one of those ended up in the seats in left to Eric Kratz. 1-1. Willingham singled, thrown out at 3rd by Santana in the 2nd inning. Since then, fly ball to center, and the strikeout with Swarzak on the mound. 1-2.
Anthony Swarzak in his 5th season with the Twins. Asked to do what Samuel Leduno had to do the other night. Pitched 3-4 innings.
Willingham dumps a single into right field.
You know, when you have a pitcher out on that mound like Jason Vargas that throws strikes, and you're going to have good defensive plays behind you. And what a play by Escobar right there. He made a great play to end the 6th inning, and right there, an outstanding play off the bat of Eric Fryer. He tips his hat, says that was a nice play.
He's right. And now Moustakas. You know, the Royals built this turnaround season years in advance of this year by tightening up their defense and then improving the pitching. It almost seems like the defense and improving it was priority number 1, and then followed up with the pitching. I mean, they got Gordon, they moved him out to left field, and they might have gotten a bit lucky there. The guy has taken to left field like he's, played it his entire life. Pop up near 3rd. But in getting Escobar, they've gotten a shortstop that just looks like he wants the ball hit to him at all times.
And he came over from the Brewers. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
1 down, runner at 1st, and now Escobar. The Royals, of course, anchored their defense around their catcher, Salvador Perez, who looks to be anchoring the Kansas City teams for a long time.
But again, it's a good pickup that getting Infante too at second base. Yeah. I think I said it in game 1. They're saying Kansas City getting Infante really helped this guy right here, Escobar. You know, the veteran leadership, and Escobar was okay as far as, last year he had an off year. He hit only .234, but don't tell the Twins that. He has loved hitting against the Twins, hitting over 400 in his career against the Twins this season.
2 strikes.
2 tonight.
And taken low. A lot of things to like about the Royals. And as we said last night, and for fans of this region, if not the Twins, I think most fans around here would probably cheer for the Royals. Mauer charges and will tag the runner out, or the batter out, with Willingham going to second.
Yeah, Joe thought about getting Willingham at second base, thought better to make sure he gets an out right here. And Willingham moves into scoring position with 2 outs.
And Dyson coming to the plate. Dyson walked and scored in the 5th. when the Royals scored the first 3 runs of the game.
Yeah, that was the downfall for Trevor May.
Fouled away.
Wade Davis getting loose in the Royals bullpen.
Kansas City's .553 winning percentage, the lowest among division leaders, but just a couple of ticks off the Dodgers' pace. Two strikes. Nobody in baseball playing .600 baseball. The Angels have the best record with a winning percentage of .590. Oakland 1 percentage point behind them. Oh, 0-2. Fryer got most of a pitch in the dirt.
Good stop by Fryer on that hard breaking ball down.
One and two from Swarzak to Dyson. Thing we've seen, Royals obviously scoring runs much better than they used to, but it seems like there are a lot of foul balls. Now, the Twins don't have a strikeout staff, but Trevor May faced 23 batters and only struck out 1 guy. Swarzak struck out Willingham and has only struck out 1 guy since.
Ooh, that just missed right there. Yeah, the Twins as a staff have the fewest strikeouts in the American League. Just a bit inside, says Fox Tracks.
And Fox Tracks is presented by Carrier. 2-2 to Dyson. Angels beat Boston 4-2. C.J. Wilson with the win. Oakland Idol has a 5-game losing streak that started in Kansas City. 3-2. And another foul ball. Royals batters have struck out coming into play today 733 times. Twins batters have struck out coming into play today 994 times.
Well, the Royals, that's the fewest strikeouts as a ball club in the American League. 733.
Great at bat for Dyson. A base hit. Willingham's going to be waved in. Arcia's throw to the plate is cut off, and now Dyson dives back to first. A wonderful at bat by Gerard Dyson, fouling off some 2-strike pitches. He punches a single to right, scoring Willingham.
Yeah, when you're playing good baseball, you know your opponent puts a run on the board. Arcia hitting the solo home run. You come right back and get that run back. Ball left out over the plate. And Dyson hit it sharply into right field. Arcia getting the ball, getting it back in quickly. But Willingham with 2 outs off with a crack of the bat. He scores the 5th run for the Royals. So Dyson picking up an RBI, his 19th of the year.
And now Aoki. No, this is Kane. I beg your pardon. Outside, ball one. Five to 1. Kansas City threatening to win its 8th series in a row. Remember, said very early on tonight, on July 21st, which wasn't that long ago, 3.5 weeks ago, something like that. 4 weeks maybe. There were just 3 games separating the Royals and the Twins. Right now the Royals are the hottest team in baseball. They've got a 5-1 lead on the Twins. Danny Santana will hit in the 8th inning. The right field corner, that ball is gone. A home run for Santana.
Be sure to stick around after the final out of the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We will break down how Trevor May faltered in the 5th inning. All 3 of the walks he allowed came around to score and haunt him. We'll also take a look, though, at Danny Santana's big night. He did it all for the Twins tonight with a hit, a stolen base, and a great outfield assist. We'll talk about what he means to the team, and then go inside the Twins clubhouse and hear from either Ron Gardenhire or maybe acting manager Terry Steinbach. You'll have to stick around to see who we hear from on Twins Live.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, the Twins manager was excused from the proceedings back in the 1st inning, arguing a foul tip into the dirt in the Joe Mauer at bat that ended the at bat with Santana left at 3rd base. And unless the Twins can turn this around for the first time as an acting manager, Terry Steinbach might find his team in the loss column.
They got a tough time right here against Wade Davis. Outstanding numbers. 53 in the 3rd innings, only 28 hits allowed. And Joe Mauer got a double off of him here the other night. It's only the 2nd extra base hit he's allowed on the year. 20 walks for Davis. He can be a little erratic as far as that, but 82 strikeouts.
The ball rifled to right field. Kane has to reach up to pull it down. Escobar hitting the ball sharply, 1 down. Here's what happened. The Twins had Santana get a single, move to 2nd on a ground ball, stole 3rd. And with the infield in, Mauer fouled a ball into the dirt. It came up into Perez's glove. But home plate umpire Chris Siegel said it was a strikeout. Ron Gardenhire wanted them to check the baseball, and we think asked Kenny Vargas to have the umpire check the ball as he assumed the batter's box. The umpires refused to do that, and that's what eventually led to Gardenhire's ejection. 1 out. Here is Santana. Perez gave his dugout a little bit of a wink as he got into the dugout. And we're told now Perez has left the game tonight with discomfort in his right knee. And he is day-to-day. Santana now is a left-handed batter.
As we all are.
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah, the Twins have the only 2 extra base hits against Davis in Kansas City a couple weeks ago. Kurt Suzuki hit a double against him. Escobar made a bid for 1, and now Santana takes 2-1. Baltimore's blown open the game against the White Sox, 8-2. This Chris Sale's 3rd loss of the year. Hacked foul, 2-2. Santana playing out in center field, came in to play short for a couple of days, back in the outfield for tonight's game.
Gardy trying to keep Escobar's bat in the lineup because he's been swinging a pretty good bat. We'll see Santana at short from time to time.
2-2. I asked Gardy today about how Santana fared at short, and he said he made the plays he was supposed to, and more importantly, and this I think probably would be the most difficult thing, he was in the right position on relays, and there were a lot of them, unfortunately. But you know, you spend all your time out in center field, and your brain isn't programmed as a shortstop for a long time, and you stepped back in, played a couple of games, and went right to where he should be.
Just a good athlete.
Full count to Santana.
He's having a good at-bat here against Wade Davis.
What Jeremy Guthrie did yesterday was greatly appreciated by the Royals, who were trying to rest their bullpen. Twins won the ball game here on Saturday, and Sunday's game was interrupted twice by rain at the very beginning and then again in the 4th inning. 3-2 to Santana, and he finally strikes him out, 2 down.
Good breaking ball down and in, and Davis picks up a strikeout.
Here's a look at the AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
Oh, what is it tonight? Brian.
Touchdown.
Just saying hello. He's watching the game.
2 down in the 8th, and here's Dozier.
Thank you for the photo.
Anyway, Guthrie yesterday, you know, worked his way through both rain delays and gave the Royals 7 innings, and that helped save Davis. The Royals were able to give Davis and their closer, Greg Holland, 2 days off.
Well, you say both game rain delays, but the game was just pushed back a half hour, so he had time to warm up regularly. And then when they put the tarp on for 54 minutes, you know, he went in, changed shirts, and then threw in the mound in the batting cage a couple times. So when the game was resumed, he was ready to go. Dave Island said he actually, instead of pitched 7 innings, he pitched 9 innings.
Because he pitched 2 in the tunnel.
Yeah.
0-2 to Dozier. Nice backhanded play by Infante. Well, the Royal defense has really come up with some fine plays here to keep the Twins off the scoreboard. It's 5-1. Kansas City hoping to win its 8th straight series. Check some other news and notes around the major league. Big moment for Adam LaRoche as Washington picks up a walk-off win, and then Jason Hayward with a big night. The Braves can't pick up any ground on Washington because of LaRoche, and Anthony Rizzo with a home run and a double and a Cubs win over the Mets.
Yeah, there's that Washington win. They now have 70 wins. They've been playing very good baseball. They've won 7 in a row now. And the Braves have won 4 in a row. So they're trying to stay with the Nationals. Brian Presley, who worked in yesterday's ball game, got beat around a little bit. 4 hits in 1 inning. Did give up a home run to Perez. And for his 11th appearance of the year, 3rd time he's pitched in this 4-game series.
1 strike to Infante. Kratz and Butler will follow. Happer to short. Escobar charges. Good play, 1 away. I'll bring up Kratz, who made a pinch hitting appearance for Perez in the 7th inning. We didn't really have ample time to identify the move because in the first pitch he cracked his bat and hit a home run to left.
Kratz, a newcomer to the Kansas City Royals, getting traded over on July 28th from the Toronto Blue Jays for former Twin Danny Valencia.
Low, ball 1.
Jumped on that first pitch from Swarzak, and you can see the bat breaking in his hand, but showing off his power.
Drive to deep center. Santana back at the wall. Gone. A home run for Kratz. He's seen 3 pitches in his backup role here and hit 2 of them out.
Kratz, who hit 3 home runs for the Toronto Blue Jays this year in 34 ball games. Like a breaking ball, and a 6-foot fastball got underneath it straightaway center.
Just out of Santana's reach.
Presley giving up another home run, his 2nd of the season, 2nd to the Royals, consecutive nights.
Well, 2 home runs and 2 swings is impressive, but I would submit to you that the Royals will be very careful and curious about Perez and his knee issue. I don't think there's any question that the most valuable position player on this Kansas City team is Salvador Perez.
For sure. Eric Kratz's first multi-home run game. He had came to the Royals with 21 career home runs. And Danny Santana going back against the wall, leaping as high as he can, and just out of his reach.
One and 2. Jan Butler and a pop-up near second base. 2 down. And bring up Gordon. Gordon with a pair of hits. A double in the 4th and a single in the 5th. Ball. Kratz's 2nd home run, the first Kansas City run that was not produced with a 2-out hit. Winning teams find a way of doing that. Check swing, no swing, 3-0.
Gordon having a good series, 8 hits and 15 at bats in this series.
equally as impressive in the field. Teams don't take the extra base against Alex Gordon, or rarely do. He probably has the most respected left field arm, at least in the American League. Foul back. 3-2. Willingham on deck. And he'll get a chance after Gordon walks with 2 out.
Yeah, Presley tried the breaking ball on 3-2 and missed low.
Indians coming to town. Trevor Bauer, DJ House, Corey Kluber. Kluber pitching as well as anybody in the American League right now. And the Twins will send up Gibson, Nolasco, and Hughes on the mound.
Gibson's had a couple of very good starts against the Cleveland Indians, so hopefully that will continue.
Willingham, the batter. And just a few games under his belt with Kansas City, but it looks as if the pennant race has reinvigorated Josh Willingham. He had a third deck home run here yesterday. Has picked up 5 hits in 13 at bats. A couple of singles tonight. Wasn't figured to play much in left field with Alex Gordon out there. Early in his Twins career, the Twins experimented with Willingham in right field, but eventually everyone thought it best to put Josh in left. Third hit tonight, Willingham with his third single of the night. That'll bring up Moustakas.
Well, like last night's outing, Ryan Presley having a tough time getting through 1 inning.
Moustakas a single in 4 trips. Twins being out hit 13-4. Breaking ball missing low.
After tonight's ball game, the Kansas City Royals fly to Colorado for a 2-game series, and from there they move on to Texas, play the Rangers.
They'll lose the DH in Colorado, obviously. Pitches for Presley, only 9 strikes. 2-0 to Moustakas. 2-1. Now, can you imagine? You're Josh Willingham. You played there for the Twins right before the All-Star break. Your job for the Royals is the designated hitter. And you got a couple games there, but you're not going to have the DH at Coors Field. Popped up, it'll reach the seats. I mean, you want to hit, you want to play. So you're probably going to lobby that it's time Alex Gordon gets a day off.
It won't be in Colorado, I can tell you that right now.
And I was going to say, now Gordon says, look, if I'm going to get my batting average up to 300, well, I want to hit at Coors Field. I'm not going to sit on the bench just so you can play Josh Willingham.
Think about the area that you have to cover, too. I'll take Alex Gordon.
And having said all that, I'm guessing Salvador Perez's knee is going to feel pretty good by the time he gets to Coors Field, too. We hope that's the case. This is a great story for the Royals and for all of baseball. The long-suffering fans in Kansas City might be rewarded with October baseball.
Well, Ned Yost, they're the skipper right there in his 5th season. Of course, managed the Brewers for many years.
2-2. driven hard, but foul. Presley, as you said, having a tough time. The sixth batter, giving up a run.
Well, he's one good pitch away from only allowing one run, and that being the home run by Kratz. This will be pitch number 24.
And the breaking ball gets a foul ball. That looks like it should be a more effective pitch than it is for Ryan. I don't know why that is.
Well, that just stayed up right there.
I mean, it's got good downward movement. It looks like it's got some bite to it. He throws it hard.
He started at that one about, shoulder height. If he can get it about belt height and then down and in to a left-handed hitter like Moustakas, might have better results. And the fastball, you can see, I mean, it's good velocity in the low 90s, but pretty straight.
Here we go again. A lot of foul balls. Talked about that in the Dyson at bat last inning. Gordon fouled off some 2-strike pitches.
We talk to hitters anytime they can see 6-7 pitches in an at bat, and as a former pitcher, you don't want to throw that many to a hitter because you're going to make a mistake.
A one-hop skipper to Dozier in right field. That ends it. Another run for the Royals on another home run by Erik Kratz. Subbing for Salvador Perez, a couple of solo home runs, and the Royals leading comfortably as we go to the ninth. Aaron Crow getting the assignment here to pitch to the Twins in the ninth.
Yeah, Crow making his 57th relief appearance, the third time he has been in this 4-game series. He worked here on Friday night. The Twins were able to score a run off of, not on Friday night, a third of an inning, but on Saturday they scored a run off of Aaron Crow. Done a good job out of that bullpen. Win-loss record 6-1, 3.1 ERA.
He'll face Joe Mauer, Kenny Vargas, and Oswaldo Arcia. Ball one. Mauer struck out in the first inning at bat that eventually led to Ron Gardenhire's ejection. Then a line out to center in the fourth, and a line drive single to center in the sixth. 1-1.
Crow straight over the top with that fastball. A little movement, basically away to a left-hander, like a sinking fastball. Also mix in a tight slider, a knuckle changeup.
Two and one. Powers average at 275. I would not be at all surprised that his batting average by season end begins with a 3. Fly ball to left. Gordon over a few steps.
He got underneath that one.
One down. And that'll bring up Vargas. Vargas 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a pop-up. Those at bats as a right-handed hitter against Jason Vargas. And now he'll hit from the left side against Aaron Crow. Strike on the outside corner.
That fly ball that Joe Mauer hit to Gordon, that's the 7th fly ball in this 4-game series that he hit to Gordon. One over his head, and that was the home run.
Yeah, a couple of them been line drives. 2 strikes to Vargas.
Vargas hitting as a left-handed hitter for the first time, where he's hitting .325.
Breaking ball just missed the inside corner. 1 and 2.
Aaron Crow, 27 years old, his 4th season with the Kansas City Royals. He was an all-star for the Royals back in 2011 in his rookie season. He was the only one to represent the Royals. Royals were not very good that year.
Check swing.
But Crow was.
Royals had 2 all-stars this year. Perez the catcher and Holland the closer. You have to remember that for most of the first 4 months it was considered to be a disappointing year for the Royals. They were right around 500. 3 and 2 now to Vargas. When so much more was expected of them. Talked a little bit when we were in this in Kansas City. They kind of planted the seed for this year by having 5 winning months last year. They had a terrible season-defining May, but in every other month they had a winning record, and that's what the Twins would like to get done here in the balance of this year, is put together a couple of winning months.
Right.
3 and 2. And another base hit to the opposite field. And Vargas will hold up with a single. We say another because he seems to have done a nice job hitting the ball where it's pitched a little bit. Arcia in this series in the last 2 games has a couple of long balls.
Yeah, that from Jason Frazier in yesterday's ball game, hitting his 11th home run, and then earlier against Vargas, a pitch middle in. Hitting it deep into the night for his 12th home run of the year.
Outside ball 1.
Here we go. Come on out.
And hitting them back to back. We've got 2 tremendously talented hitters who have different approaches at the plate. Arcia very much a pull hitter, and we've seen Vargas at least with the ability to pick up some hits to the opposite field, swinging at pitches like that. And Arcia really seems to be locked in on pulling the ball.
Well, both home runs we showed you were inner half of the plate, where he could open up quickly and show off that power. Kratz sitting away.
Garcia dribbles one to third. Moustakas double clutches. Safe at first. Moustakas had a hard time triggering the throw, and Garcia hustling will get an infield hit.
Well, you hustle out of that box no matter what the score is, and that's what Garcia did right there. Moustakas, who had to shift on a little bit. Kind of a check swing, and then hustling down that line and beat it out.
Now Plouffe 0 for 3. Blocked by Kratz.
Greg Holland starting to loosen up.
And a base runner, it becomes a save situation. 1-1. Strike 2. Vargas and Arce on the bases. Both trying to extend the inning. 2-2. Paralyzed there, and now finally Crow ready. Driven foul.
Plouffe with 8 home runs on the year, 32 doubles.
After this road trip you were talking about, Minnesota, then Colorado, then Texas, Royals have 2 road trips left. 3 in New York, 3 in Detroit, and then 3 in Cleveland, 4 in Chicago. Another foul ball. Kratz will run a new baseball bat. They have, the Royals do, 6 games left with the Tigers, 3 in Detroit and 3 in Kansas City.
I believe the Tigers have kind of controlled that first 13 games. They are Tigers are 9-4 against the Royals.
Yeah. Another 2-2 to Plouffe.
I knew that 13 was somewhere.
3-2. That's ultimately how the Tigers staved off the Indians for the division title last year. They dominated Cleveland in the head-to-head competition, and with that forced the Indians to play the one-game wild card game. Full count to Plouffe. A deep drive to left field, and that one's not coming back. Great at bat for Plouffe, and a 3-run jolt making it 6-4.
Home run number 9 on the year for Trevor Plouffe, his first 3-run home run of the year. That's a 6-4 ball game. And here comes Ned Yost, I'm sure, to bring in his closer. And Plouffe, his 7th home run hit here at Target Field of the 9 he's hit. Fastball came running in on him.
Plouffe with a 3-run home run, and the Twins have done A lot of late scoring even in this series. The problem has been they've trailed in just about every game going late. They will get the Kansas City closer into the game. He's about as good as they come. Greg Holland will try to pin it down. Series finale, they need him.
Yeah, here on Friday night, Holland picked up his 37th save in the Royals' 6-5 win over the Twins.
Armley the batter. Suzuki's in the on-deck hit circle. He will hit for Fryer. And then Escobar would be scheduled next. And he takes outside, ball one. With a three-man bench, of course, and tonight Suzuki, Nunez, and Schaefer are the three guys. The foul, 1-1.
Good fastball by Holland at 95, also a hard slider.
Trying to get aboard, then everyone remaining here will be on the edge of their seat. Roll to the right side. Infante scoops it up. 2 down, and it'll be left to Suzuki to keep the game alive. Fryer had gone 0 for 3. Suzuki as a pinch hitter 2 for 5 with a run batted in. Suzuki stands in with his 3rd home run of the year 2 nights ago here. Takes strike 1.
Holland leading the American League with 37 saves, 2 ahead of Fernando Rodney, and 6 ahead of Glenn Perkins, who has the 4th most saves in the American League.
Ooh, delay call, strike 2. Suzuki didn't like it. Right from the edge. Twins down to their last strike. Ball away.
think we've shown Holland's delivery again. The guy that, you know, isn't real big. It's 5'10", 195. But boy, does he open up and kind of gets that ball in the glove, then brings it out. Really flies open, but tremendous arm.
Popped up right side. Butler ends it, and the Royals have won 8 series in a row, including a 3 out of 4 series against the Twins. And they open up their largest lead in the American League Central this year. They now lead the Tigers by 2 games. Tom Hanneman, the Royals are on a roll and look very much like the class of the division right now.
Dick, Kansas City moves 14 games over the 500 mark for the first time in 20 years and 9 days with a 6-4 victory tonight here at Target Field. Up next, we'll break it all down on Twins Live.